Welcome back to another episode of Quarter Horse Customs. We have our 393 stroker for Project Apocalypse here. If you watched last week, we got a little bit curious and started digging into some things. Kind of getting ready for Hot Rod Drag Week and found out that our clutch was clutching just fine. But it wasn't happy. Not even close. So hopefully we have that rectified now. I got a new clutch. It's actually my spare clutch to carry around in the trailer. Have my flywheel done. I don't even know if it's my flywheel, honestly. But we'll figure that out eventually. Alright, first things first. We gotta get the flywheel on, then we can put the clutch in, then we can put the bell housing in, which is so fun. Then we can put this big old beast back in the car, start it up, then we get to drive it around like it's a 200 horsepower, no derriere having cruising car that I just have to pedal around until I break the clutch in before I can go do things like trailer burnouts. Yay. Yep, just had to peek. Could have left it well enough alone. Nope. Alrighty, first off then, we're going to throw the new flywheel on. Well, it's not new, but I swear it's not mine, because it looks way nicer than mine did. Is that right? Aha. I've got thread sealer on the bolts, because supposedly that's something you gotta do. Okay, it's actually something you gotta do. See, some cranks have holes that go straight through into the oil, and then oil will start seeping out of these. It'll hit here, and then as you're driving, centrifugal force will throw that grease and oil out, up this edge, and out into your clutch. And then you're changing clutches again. And you're going to be like, I don't understand. I just put it in. How is it bad already? I got this thrown on, they're tightened down. Now all we got to do is torque it down to 85 foot-pounds. So one of the confusing things about this clutch is when you look at these bolts, you go, oh, well, those are where you mount, right? No. Apparently my bolts are there. So I can use these big holes for anything like shove a screwdriver through here. And then I can go to tighten and it'll hit the bell housing scatter plate, because mine's the thick one for the blowproof. And then I can use that to torquelate all these bolts down, and then we can move on to stabbing a little bit of grease inside here, and then we'll clean the surface one more time with some brake clean and put the clutch disc on. Alright, I got here one of the good old hobo freights. It's worked out so far, so I'm going to take them up to about 50 just to get them worked around. And then I'll go ahead and hit them up to 85. And then just for verification, I'm just going to go around. That way a guy can sleep at night knowing that every one of these is torqued. Okay, now, according to the instructions, you want ARP lube under here. But I'm going to tell you from personal experience, don't. Because when this came out, I had streaks coming out of here from the ARP lube working its way into the clutch. So I just wouldn't do it. Those are torqued, 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 torqued. Okay. I can sleep tonight now. So I'm just putting just a very little bit of grease down in here because this is my pilot bearing. I really don't want that to go bad. Alrighty, it's clutch time. So this time we're running McLeod, whatever numbers are on the box. These ones. Last time I ran the puck clutch all the way around, and well, we all saw what happened. So this time I'm going to run this one. It's a dual friction, So it's got the full face here, and then it's got the pucks on the back. It's supposed to be rated for 500 horsepower. I'm going to hope it works. I mean, I don't really have another choice. So let's get this puppy lined up. Get him on the car. Get this puppy in. And see how it works. Alright. I went and picked up some new grade 8 hardware just because I was feeling froggy. No, it's just, those other ones had a little bit of horsepower going through them, so probably best just to change them. They're just regular grade 8s from like the Rule Kings. They're cheap, inexpensive, and good insurance. Alright, center my disc so a piece can slide in and out. That's a nice, smooth engagement. I think I can live with that. Alrighty. Funny story about this clutch here. Actually, this was my backup clutch that we kept in the Drag and Drive trailer. So when I went up to Summit, I went to buy the original clutch. What number is this? So this is the 75305 Straight Extreme Clutch Kit from Foxbody Mustangs, 86 to 2001. I actually mistyped the number. It was supposed to be like 75305, or 405, sorry, 405. And that was the all-puck clutch. And we didn't notice that until I walked by and I see this clutch actually sitting on the shelf of the scratch and sniff section for 150 bucks. I just spent $400 on a clutch, and this one's there for 150. I'm like, I'm going to take it back. And then my wife's like, hang on, you actually got the wrong clutch. I was like, oh. It's like, well, we already did spend the money, so let's just spend a little bit more money, get the right clutch, and we have a spare clutch in case we put it in one of the other cars. We're here to find out it's actually going in this car. Great. Yep, that worked out perfectly. Alrighty, we're using, I think, 5/16 bolts, and with the instructions that didn't come with the kit, I think I looked up that it's like 25 foot-pounds. So we'll just start here at the top. Okay. Okay. Insanity torque. Okay. Torqued, 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 torqued. Torqued. Remind myself of that. Oh boy! Oh, hang on. Pause. Beautiful. Okay. Everything's aligning. The stars, the planets, the sun. Nope. Okay. Now I get to do the fun part. So the reason why I run a little bit more of aggressive of a clutch is because in my theory, transmissions are replaceable. Some of you are like, hold up there, buddy. How do you figure your transmission is replaceable when the clutch is cheaper? I have a couple T5s laying around. I started fiddling with rebuilding them. I know that most of the time my power ends up killing the input shaft and the counter shaft. So I have an extra case with a counter shaft, take an extra input shaft. I should be okay to swap the guts around. However, what I'm not able to do on the side of a road on a drag and drive is pull the motor out just so I can remove the bell housing, because the way these headers are shaped, these cup the bell housing in such a way that I just can't remove it without pulling the motor out or pulling the headers off. But wait, you can't pull the headers off because they're so stuffed up inside each other that the motor in the car just doesn't let it come out. So that's not going to happen without pulling the motor. So great, you pulled the motor anyway, you still got to pull the motor to take the bell housing off. Or run slightly aggressive more of a clutch. That way, hopefully, it won't go bad. It went bad. Damn it. I knew there was something wrong. Alrighty. Everything else is on. We're torqued. We got Loctite on these guys. Now we can go ahead and throw our bell housing on. Oh yeah, and we're aligned. Throw our bell housing on, torque it down, and then we can throw this thing back in the car, hook everything back up, crank it up, and drive it around like it has no power. Before I throw the bell housing on, here's my old throwout bearing. I don't see anything wrong with it, but in such a case, when it comes to the brand new one, I can put this in the drag and drive trailer in case I need it. Rather than putting that one back in and then it crapping out and then having to put this one back in anyway. Might as well just throw it in right now. Okay, here's our big bahonkin' bell housing. Go ahead and take my holder bolt out. And we can just pick this big boy up, drop it down into the hole, press it up onto the studs, throw my back out, and throw a bolt in to hold it on. Okay, somebody else finish it. Cool, now that everything's going together, we can go ahead and tighten our bell housing bolts. And if you want to know the spec for that, the spec is, I don't know. I just know I'm going to make it really effing tight so I don't have to come see this again until I have to pull the motor next time, which will hopefully be after Buckeye skips. Now it's time for the ultimate fun part. See, this thing has just like 15 or 16 just freaking bolts that go all the way around it just to make sure that if it blows up, it doesn't take my feet off. Now, I'm extremely grateful for that part, but this absolutely sucks when it comes to putting it together. Enjoy this entourage, whatever the word is, and enjoy this little speed-up clip of me putting all the bolts in this thing. Here we go! Now we just gotta put it in the car. Stay tuned. I gotta get all this crap cleaned up. Alright, time to scratch up the engine bay. Here we go!
For the 100th time. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Careful, don't go so fast like I did last time.
Nope. We're just creeping. Creeping! I don't know how that song goes.
Race car.
Yeah, race car. What was that?
I don't know. A bunch of bolts fell off. Did you have headers? I don't know. Looks like bolts.
Oh, probably off the top here. Yeah, I have the washers up there, I think. Maybe. I don't know. We'll find them after we're down.
You gotta come twist it. You're against the. There you go. Might be. There's a wrench. Whatever the handling around.
Oh, no, the oil pan on the K number.
I think it's because you have it on the first hook. I think you need to put it on the second or third hook to put it in.
No, I gotta have it back here because I have to not be on the steering arm like I'm currently right now. There we go. You let it down ever so gently.
Yeah, do you have the rod?
Yes. Take out, Mommy.
My finger was gonna be in that.
Oh, am I good? Up a little bit.
Up a little bit so I can get the wrench out. That wrench was my finger. And I was like, you know what? I don't trust her. Let me go ahead and just put this
I
in
was
here real
getting
quick.
hit. Literally.
Next thing you know, scrunch, and I'm like, I'm gonna stick my finger in that. Don't put your dick grabber where you wouldn't put your dick. Lesson of the day. Don't let your wife run the cherry picker when your fingers are in it. Alrighty, I got the motor strapped in here, just kind of holding it up. I gotta pick it up, I gotta hook up things like the alternator, the distributor, hit those bolts at the impact, make sure everything's sitting level, and then we can go ahead and throw the transmission in, radiator, hook everything back up, and we should be able to fire this puppy up again. I went ahead and threw the transmission in off camera just because, well, y'all have seen me throw plenty of transmissions in. We can go ahead and hook up our new plug. Boom. Now those sensors are wired up. Let's go ahead and run our coolant lines through the intake. We can hook up our oil PSI lines, hook up our starter, throw the radiator in, throw a carburetor on here, and we should be able to fire it up and go, ooh, wow, it makes rumbling noises. Oil line, oh no, we gotta do coolant hoses, and they absolutely suck. But it looks really clean when I do it this way. Okay. I see me a probe. I got me one. That's me, my other. Okay, so these guys go like that, and this guy will go over here. So now that's ran. Now we can hook up our oil lines. Shorter one will obviously go to the shorter line. Longer one will obviously go to the longer line. I do eventually plan on figuring out whether I can switch these to like AN lines, because I would really love like a 4AN to run up, meet with a junction into 4AN lines of the gauges, but I haven't come across a situation to actually find that, and I usually forget about these guys being back here until it's time that they blow out, and then I'll be like, hey, I was always remembering to think about fixing that. This is my absolute favorite 11mm, little dumb thing. For some reason they marked it red like it was a standard. Don't know if that was intentional or not. Okay, that's a problem. Let me go see if I got some spares. Gotta make a parts run. Okay, so I got a new union piece. Now we can make sure these guys are all nice and tightened up, so it doesn't come back apart. Because I don't want any oil leaks.
And we want accurate oil PSI readings.
Definitely going to look into AM line. And then maybe I can run like a thing where I can just go up here, tap in. Okay. Now we can hook up our starter. Then we can start worrying about our agitator and all that stuff.
Did you leave the starter in and everything?
Yeah. I left the starter on the bell housing, like I always do.
Yeah.
Until I took the bell housing off.
Yeah, that's right. And then you put it back on when you had it out.
Put in our trigger wire.
Did you put a plug in or something?
Yep. One wire plug. Now I'm triggered. Ignition. You can put our hoses back in.
Maybe.
Can reinstall my overflow. My overflow.
I'm not going at an angle.
Super custom, one of a kind originator. Definitely not.
And what we mean by that is the cheapest one you can get off at eBay, literally.
It wasn't the cheapest until you negotiated them down.
So is this right here TIG then? Or is it MIG?
That's TIG. Aluminium has to be TIGged.
It can be MIG too, I guess.
Not very easily. You really want me to get TIG baller, don't you?
I was just wondering.
Don't you?
I mean, a little bit, but...
Lower radiator hose. Get the upper... Oh, plug in the electro fans. Yeah, don't forget that. That'd be a bad day. Okay. Oh, MSD. Need an ignition pickup. Yeah, that's plugged in. Upper rad hose. Re-thread tape. Carburetor. And we'll be done. Probably wondering why I just put the plate back on when I just took it off. And that's because I would rather drop a nut or something on the top of this plate, or a stud onto the top of this plate, than risk it going down the intake. And then we're pulling an intake to figure out which valve's trying to eat a bolt. Still looking for a better fitment of this hose. Like one, I can't do that, but I will eventually figure something out. If you guys have any ideas, please drop it in the comments, and I will see if it fits. Because I'm tired of all the dangly flappy. And this is here for an alternator that's way down here. I want that. Oh boy, now I get to play with Teflon tape. Do I like Teflon tape? No. Is it a necessary evil? Yes. Is it freaking messy? Yes. Alright, remember, tight, but not too tight, because too tight's broke. Okay. What are you all driving by my house for? On a typical day, I get 3 people that drive by. Today, I already have 3. And off with the plate, on with the carb. That is our Brawler 750 CFM. Beautiful carburate. I absolutely love this carb. Funny part about this carb is it actually runs absolutely beautifully. So beautifully, you can actually throw this on my red Mustang that actually has my wife's 289 in it, and it runs flawlessly on that carburetor. I mean, it runs a little rich. Just a little bit. But I mean, in comparison to what is on that car, this carburetor runs 10 times better. Anybody see where I put my cars? Ah, here it is. Crescent Ranch. Tight, two tights broke. Okay. Let's double check. Okay, carburetor's on, fuel line's hooked up, breather line's down, spark plug wires on, ground is on, alternator wires on, ground is on. We are live on that. Belts on. Fans are hooked up. Alternators. Radiators in. Gotta hook up the ground. Put a radiator cap on. We ain't got no juice in that anyway. We can go ahead and install our safety. This is just a cheap alternator bracket. This is just a cheap Amazon bracket. I have to actually have that washer in the back because it has way too much play without it. So this just kind of centralizes that. Okay. Throttle pedal hooked up. Okay, no vacuum lines to worry about. I can go down there. That's out of the way. I think the rest is mostly under the car. Adjust the clutch cable a little more. Yeah, pretty much adjust clutch cable, put in the drive shaft, and put in the shifter, but I'm going to do that off camera. Got going on underneath. We got our nice transmission. It is a T5. Oh, that's amazing. I had to put a new tail housing on it because the other one had a bad tail shaft bushing. If you see here how cradled this bell housing is inside these headers. There is literally no way to finagle this, especially with this pipe here. Now, if this was cut out, bent back, came back down here, and then down and in, maybe, along with this pipe here, was relocated over this way, but it's not going to happen. So this bell housing sucks, but keep my feet. Everything down here looks okay. Starter excessively heat wrapped. Everything's looking good. Here's our new aluminum drive shaft. I am so excited to see how this thing works. Got our mufflators in here. Good deal. I think we're good to go ahead and just, I got to take a little bit of slack out of this clutch cable. Just a little bit more, see that? Got to take a little bit of that slack out. And then we should be good to tighten up from the top and take her for a test drive for tomorrow. So in order to adjust your clutch cable, you adjust this jam nut, loosen this one, adjust this one in. I'm not going to be able to show you guys too well because, well, I'm not going to be able to hold you up in here. But that's all we got to do for that. And then we should be good. Do an oil change, fill the radiator. I'll check in with you guys later today. I have a parade to go to for my little sister. And then we'll have to have this puppy ready to go tomorrow morning. Well, we have everything thrown back in the car. I fired it up. It was idling. And I started to notice we have a tail shaft bushing leak. So before I go any further, any driving or anything like that, I'm going to yank the T5 out. I'm going to get it up to my buddy Bart. We're going to throw a tail shaft bushing in this thing, throw it back in the car. Then we should be ready to go break in the clutch for Hot Rod Drag Week. Thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. I have more crap to do to the car to get ready for Drag Week. And I've also been working on the drag and drive trailer way back there. Lots of updates on that. Thank you.